So what is individuality in fitness? So this idea of individuality simply states that no two people will respond to the same training program as another. So a great example of this is if we look at a professional athlete. A professional athlete is going to have a training program that is very, very catered to their specific professional goals. Likely, the volume and intensity is going to be incredibly high for them. Some of the exercises might be a little different than what you would normally see on a training program for somebody who is just starting out. So compared to a recreational program, right? Somebody just starting out, their training program is likely going to have less complex movements. They might not be doing as much training volume. So there's two different training programs, but specifically these training programs will not affect those people the same way. That's exactly why we have different individualized programs. If I took the program from the professional athlete and then applied it to the recreational athlete, guess what would happen? He actually wouldn't get as much better compared to if he just did the recreational program. That recreational athlete might actually end up developing overtraining syndrome. They're probably going to be doing too much. They're probably going to predispose themselves to injury because we didn't use that individualized program for them. This is exactly why having a custom program, or at least as custom as you can get for your specific goals, is so crucial. So when you're asking, should the program look exactly the same for them? Of course the answer is going to be no, because their goals are different. There's a lot of different other things to consider. Some of these may be age. I would never train somebody the same who is a very young athlete compared to a very older adult. I work with a lot of seniors. I also work with my little brother who's 13 years old. For him, I'm teaching him basic movements like squatting and deadlifting with load, with barbells. And although I might be doing similar movements with some of the seniors and older adults I work with, as in getting up out of a chair, that's kind of a squat, I might be practicing a basic hinge pattern. This would be kind of like a deadlift. So it's similar, but the program isn't exactly the same because it shouldn't be. They're not going to respond the same way. Of course, there are some sex differences, so usually females can tolerate volume a little bit better, simply because usually the weights that they are lifting isn't as heavy as most males. And this is just generalization, of course. There are going to be some females that can lift as heavy as males, but that's going to be a part of individualized programs. So a female might be doing more volume because they can recover better, versus a male might be doing a little less volume but more intense workouts. So that's kind of just one thing. Also, of course, training history. As we talked about with the professional athlete versus a recreational athlete, you're not going to have a recreational lifter or somebody who's never worked out do that professional athletic program simply because they're not used to those movements. It's going to predispose them to injury. It's not a good idea to get them to be the fittest version of themselves. We need those custom programs, very specific. And also genetics too. This is probably one of the biggest things when it comes to training programs, is that some people, just because they're genetic gifts, when I played high school football, I envied these people. I always looked at them, I'm like, man, they're lifting more than me. They can run faster than me. We're doing the same exercises. We're doing the same program. Guess what? Some people, just the way their muscles develop, just the way their overall neurological system develops, their central nervous system, they can adapt better. They can handle stress better. And this is something you need to realize when you are trying to become the fittest version of yourself, that some people might be doing the same program as you, but simply genetically, they might be able to handle it better. And vice versa. You might be able to do a program super well and bring someone into the gym who's never lifted, and guess what? They might not be able to do it as well as you because maybe you're a genetic jackpot. Also, too, goals and desires. So we need to have different programs because a lot of people's goals are different too. Somebody who has a goal of just managing pain in their body, we're going to have the program more catered towards that versus a professional athlete who wants to optimize movements, optimize performance. It's going to be largely catered towards that. And of course, if you think about it, if I take a program designed for pain management and give it to a professional athlete, it's probably not going to feel like he's doing anything. It's going to be like him going through a very low-key physical therapy routine. So just kind of a starter point, that's individualization in fitness. Go ahead and give this video a like if you are getting